E agora aqui no Notícias Agrícolas a gente vai falar um pouquinho sobre Fairtrade. Você já ouviu falar disso? Talvez você reconheça esse termo também como comércio justo. E a proposta desse trabalho é justamente garantir sustentabilidade em toda a ponta da cadeia e garantir rentabilidade e desenvolvimento social. A CEO da Fairtrade Comercial está aqui no Brasil e conversou com o Notícias Agrícolas sobre várias pautas voltadas principalmente para a cafeicultura, as novas regras de importação, o peso que tudo isso tem no mercado internacional, mas principalmente as oportunidades que esse produtor tem nesse modelo de negócio. Ela foi um pouquinho além e a gente conversou também sobre outros mercados e outras produções. Sandra, seja muito bem-vinda ao Notícias Agrícolas. Nós estamos muito felizes em tê-la aqui conosco e para a gente começar nosso bate-papo de hoje, eu queria que você explicasse para o produtor que está nos assistindo o que significa na prática o Fairtrade.
Thank you for welcoming me. Fairtrade is an international organization that brings together producers from three big markets, namely Africa, North Asia, Pacific, and Latin America, to trade, to sell some very key high-value, high-impact products to international markets in Europe and in the US. Fairtrade specifically represents producers' interests in ensuring that they get an equitable choice and voice in terms of negotiating for fairer prices, better prices for their products in international markets. These better prices are specifically looking at having a minimum price, a fair minimum price when buying their products from the source, and also ensuring that when the products are sold in the north, they're sold at a premium price that allows the producer to collect over and above the sales a premium that helps to build the capacity of their industry at a grassroots level. So Fairtrade is primarily driven and owned by producers. At a corporate governance level, Fairtrade represents Fairtrade's board is 50% of producers, while the other percentage is a conglomeration of national Fairtrade organizations or organizations that directly interact with commercial partners and licenses in the European markets, the US markets.
Sandra, como é que você vê a capacidade do Brasil em ter esse tipo de mercado, né? Qual que é a potência do Brasil que você vê para os nossos produtores brasileiros?
There's a lot of potential for the Brazilian producers. In fact, right now, Brazil exports quite some key high-value products to European markets under Fairtrade. So Brazil exports oranges, it exports coffee, it exports nuts, it exports some spices to key markets in Europe, mainly Germany and Switzerland. And Brazil is also focusing on building more capacity in exporting even bananas, but also is focusing on building more capacity in strengthening South-to-South partnerships, meaning sourcing from South markets and selling to South markets within Latin America. So we see a lot of potential opportunities. What's important to note as well is that Brazil is the leading exporter of coffee internationally, and a certain percentage of this, a high percentage of this coffee is sold under fair trade terms. We are still very keen to see this kind of relationship built and sustained over time. And we're even hoping to encourage more companies to have socially conscious investment policy or purchasing policy that looks to build more capacity within the farm so that they can actually become more compliant to fair trade regulatory requirements and also build more engagements and commercial engagements in selling the products in the North markets.
E falando um pouquinho sobre a cafeicultura, Sandra, eu vi que vocês anunciaram o aumento do preço mínimo de café por conta das condições climáticas aí que afetam as principais origens produtoras. Qual a leitura que você faz nesse momento para esses produtores e como que será feito esse aumento, então, no valor?
Like I said earlier, coffee is Brazil, amongst other countries, is one of the largest exporters internationally. What's important to note is that coffee from Brazil is exported to Europe, to North Asia, specifically Japan. It's also exported to North America. And about 20 million bags are exported internationally. the minimum price for coffee has not been upgraded for a very long time, since 2014. But the ongoing economic challenges, economic conditions, price fluctuations, and the high costs of doing business and production costs at a grassroots level for coffee producers has been volatile over a period of time. And this is what has led to ongoing discussions within our standards committee to review the minimum price and to upgrade it for both organic and washed coffee. It's important to realize that with this strengthening of the minimum price on the market upwards, there's a growing encouragement to our producers that even though the price of coffee may be more expensive on the market, but the conscious consumer that is purchasing these products will definitely recognize the value of strengthening and also building on the supply chain costs producers keep on facing at the grassroots level. One of the biggest costs of doing business for coffee producers at a grassroots level have been the ongoing challenges of climate change that has led to low harvests. They've been having very many challenges in terms of the ongoing taxes that they have to be facing. Operational costs have shot up. Living income and living wage costs are also very high. And we see that this increment of the minimum price of Fairtrade coffee on the markets will definitely assist in also growing the Fairtrade premium on the market. And this can directly assist producers to make independent choices on how to improve their operational costs and also how to improve household income and their business at a national level. And that's why we have actually done it, because we want to ensure that the Fairtrade certified coffee producers have a safety net that can protect them against the ongoing prevailing economic and business challenges in terms of price fluctuations across the board.
Sandra, nós estamos aqui no Brasil muito preocupados com as novas regras de importação da União Europeia, que tendem a ser adotadas também pelos Estados Unidos, justamente por conta dos impactos ambientais. Como é que você acha que o selo Fairtrade pode garantir mais uma segurança para o produtor brasileiro continuar nesse mercado, já que o selo, para conseguir esse selo, né, o produtor precisa comprovar uma série de ações sustentáveis?
Yes, the EU is enforcing new regulatory requirements on human rights and environmental due diligence on deforestation, and these do contribute to and there is an ongoing discussion about how these enforcement actions on the regulatory requirements might be transferred to producers. It is important to note, that we as Fairtrade are having continuous engagements on how to implement these requirements within our producers, within our supply chain, also with our traders, and we are calling for governments and businesses to recognize the shared responsibility. We are also appealing to company responsibility to consider that over and above the premium price, the premiums that are given back to producers, we might look at programmatic approaches that help us to set up remedial action or remedial measures, remediation systems and processes on the ground to assist in terms of meeting human rights and environmental due diligence requirements. We will also have to assist a lot of farmers to set up dynamic reforestation programs that can allow them to meet the European Union requirements so that they don't lose market in terms of selling their products in the north. So there's an ongoing effort across the movement to see how we can have a shared responsibility and a multi-stakeholder approach to address the enforcement of these regulations.
E para a gente encerrar, eu queria saber qual a expectativa dessa vinda ao Brasil.
Objectives of my meeting when coming to Brazil was to specifically speak to entrepreneurs and innovators during the South Summit that took place in Porto Alegre, and to engage them on having a more fairer, sustainable approach to doing business that builds the capacity for producers at a grassroots level. I also had an opportunity to visit with Copper Farm, which is based in Ribeirão Preto. It is a Fairtrade certified farm that is supplying oranges to our businesses in the north through one of the biggest orange traders here in Brazil, this is Introduo. So we had a chance to meet with them to see how there's been a growing impact on premiums, on their productions, on their operations, and on their household income. And lastly, I also had an opportunity to visit Ben & Jerry's biggest store here in Brazil and also in the world. Ben & Jerry's is a Fairtrade certified commercial partner. They do source sugar and other products from our farms, our Fairtrade certified farms across various markets. They also source cocoa and coffee as well, and we are very excited to be here. I like that my impressions of Brazil are very, very positive. It's a very vibrant country. It's very rich in terms of agricultural trade, amongst so many other things. And it is also a country that has a potential to grow its conscious consumption or production by building more awareness within corporate industry, the retail chains in buying responsibly from producers across the market. And we as Fairtrade are very willing to work very closely with these commercial partners, with the businesses, to explain a little bit more and to also implement processes towards moving so that we can move towards fairer trade. I'd like to encourage the producers to get in touch with our organization, our producer network called Quer, and they would be able to also strengthen their engagements with commercial partners here in the south and also in the north.
Sandra, muito obrigada pela sua disponibilidade em falar aqui com o Notícias Agrícolas. A gente deseja que sua estadia no Brasil atenda todas as suas expectativas e que você tome bons cafés por aqui.
Thank you. I'm actually going home with Brazilian coffee.
Thank you.
Participe das nossas mídias sociais no Facebook Notícias Agrícolas, no Instagram, @Notícias Agrícolas e em nosso Twitter, @Noteagri. E para assistir todos os vídeos, se inscreva no YouTube, na Twitch, no Notícias Agrícolas Oficial.